you guys. Hey, you guys. Hey, you guys. It's us. It's us again. Oh, I look shiny today. I'm not this shiny in real life. I just look shiny. Okay, so it's us. It's of course you guys and Scott and myself, and we are here for Super Scary Saturday Sleepover. Scott, are you ready for this?
I feel like we had a super scary Saturday sleepover last night with that fairy tale.
Fairy tales are kind of scary. It's kind of like Disney kind of made them like more palatable. But yeah, fairy tales are like the original horror films or the horror stories. Like they it usually don't end well if you really think about it outside of Disney. But most people don't want to think about it like that because it's tethered to their childhood. So yeah. But yeah, it was Hansel and Gretel, and we saw some child neglect like no other. Over and over again, those poor children, and they couldn't come back till they had some money. Welcome to capitalism, period. Okay, but tonight we're going to go through a new super scary story that's not a fairy tale, is intended to be scary. It's from the book Campfire Stories for Kids, because we are talking to this sleepover is about our inner child. So let's get this thing cracking. Now, y'all know I grew up on Are You Afraid of the Dark? So I love that campy feel. So of course we got Scott's mom gave us a gift card for Christmas. And tonight's candle is Warm Luxe Cashmere. You can't see it because the light kind of weird. But that's the one. What, like, Scott, how many times have you went camping and thought to yourself, I need some damn cashmere? I think about it all the time. So let's get this thing going. Boom. And let's get our campsite going. Let's get our campfire thing together. Ooh, Scott, we in the woods, y'all. We in the woods. Ooh. Okay, so gather around, children, for this scary story. Scott, are you ready to get to not be able to sleep tonight?
Yeah, I'm ready as I'm going to be.
Are you still quivering from last night's story?
Come on, bro.
Okay. Scott was crying in his pillow last night, y'all. During one snowy winter season, as Christmas came closer, Joe and his family took a trip up the mountain, hoping to catch the joy away from the city's bustling life. At the top of the winter wonderland, the family found a nice private cabin made of wood, a cozy place where Joe could rest and have fun next to a warm fire. Boom. His mama probably got on her cashmere, her Luxe cashmere, and it's warm. See? Okay. We did need some cashmere.
All right.
Cozy cashmere for the fire. The place wasn't entirely crowded, making it a quiet spot to stay in. Joe could hardly keep himself from jumping for joy, as this was his first time in a cabin like this. Yes, Joe, you moving on up, baby. The nearest cabin was around 10 or 15 minutes away on foot, but it was close enough. After settling in for the night, Joe woke up the following morning, taking his little sister, Sophie. I like that name. I like Sophie and Sophia. I like those names. To play outside. Watching the fields so white with snow, the little girl had one easy idea. Of the many games they could play in the snow, Sophie immediately went with the one they both liked the most. Y'all gonna make some snow angels or what? Let's make a snowman, she cheered them on. Oh, girl, oh, that's going to take a lot. Have you ever made a snowman before, Scott?
Oh, yeah.
That takes a lot of effort. Or is it just me?
Maybe just you.
I don't like the cold like that, so I think it's just me. Like, I'm not taking balls of snow and rolling it to make it big. Like, I just feel like that's a lot. Again.
You have to have the right kind of snow. So.
I want the cashmere. I want the cashmere, not the snow. I want the cashmere by the fireplace. Being the bigger brother, Joe agreed and went to pile up the snow, rolling up enough. Sophie stood at the building site, waiting impatiently for Joe to bring in the snowballs needed. One by one, Joe placed the snowballs on top of each other to build the snowman. Period, Joe. Somebody got to do it because it wouldn't be me. Finally, after finishing up, the two looked at the complete snowman, checking on their proud work. I have a problem with the word there. Because it sounds like Joe did all the work and she just stood there watching.
Well, someone's got to supervise.
Period. And it looked very bland. Their snowman was not so much a snowman as just a white ball. It needed more than just snow. It needed features to make it stand out more, things to make it more alive. Kind of like when I put costumes on the cats.
Mm-hmm.
It could use arms, Sophie commented. And eyes and a nose, added Joe. After thinking it through, he had an idea. Turning to Sophie, said, I'm going to look for some things to make its face. Why don't you go find a scarf and some branches for the hands? Okay. After Sophie ran off to find things he had asked for, Joe walked to the cabin to find, oh my gosh, I just realized I don't have my glasses.
Okay.
This is not making it easier to see, y'all. That's why my face looks so shiny, because I don't have my glasses.
Do you know where they are?
I think they're in the bathroom.
Take a look.
Okay, Scott's going to go get the glasses. I'm going to keep reading. Well, clearly y'all can tell I'm not blind. I just need them a little bit, but I like to have them on all the time. I hope he finds them. He searched the bags for anything to use, but nothing seemed to work. There was nothing round to make eyes wide enough, make the mouth long, or light enough to make the nose. There was nothing useful for the snowman's face. So Joe exited the cabin, looking for anything outdoors to use for his snowman. As he searched, he noticed a cabin his parents had driven past the previous day. Here we go. His curiosity was piqued. Perhaps something in the cabin could be useful for the snowman. It won't be. So Joe made his choice, determined to make the 10-mile walk. They weren't in there. Oh no, I lost my glasses. They somewhere. They're probably upstairs. I wouldn't worry about it, Scott. Clearly, I didn't put them somewhere weird. Scott found him. He's my hero. There's a hero. And then a Scott came along with the strength to carry on. Okay, Scott, now can you tell it's me? I know y'all were like, who the hell is that? It's me. I just didn't have my glasses on. I didn't look smart. Okay, let me tell you what you missed.
Okay.
Joe could not find anything to make eyes and a nose and a mouth for this snowman. So he in their cabin. So he was like, let me walk 10 minutes in the snow and go to this other cabin. Maybe I can find something instead of just leaving the damn snowman like it is.
Can you find like some stones on the ground?
Scott, he said no. He want to walk 10 minutes away and go grab some stuff he probably ain't supposed to. It's probably going to be weird in that house. He going to get a bunch of stuff he ain't supposed to, and something going to happen because it's called the Haunted Snowman.
Okay.
As he arrived, Joe got a closer look at the cabin down the hill. He thought he would make some new friends or find some things to do. But to his disappointment, the cabin was not as it had seemed from afar. It was small compared to theirs and looked very shabby, with wooden walls chipped and piled with snow. The gate and doors into the cabin had been left open, revealing the dark inside. I wouldn't have, that sounds, no. The place was clearly abandoned, given that no one appeared to be anywhere. Joe was about to walk away from the abandoned cabin. Then, out of nowhere, a creaking sound was heard. And then there will be running sounds back to my cabin, would be the next thing you hear. But let's see what Joe does. He turned around and saw the door opening by itself, probably due to the wind. This is not, remember how Hansel was smart and knew, oh, let me get some flint pieces. Let me do this. This is not Hansel today. In today's story, there's no Hansel here. There's just Joe, who's just making unwise decisions. Taking a look into the cabin, Joe suddenly had another idea. Since no one was living there anymore, maybe he could find the things needed for the snowman inside. He decided to turn back and walk towards the cabin. Opening a creaky door, he entered a dark hallway where the furniture was filled with dust, while the corners of the house were covered in cobwebs. Bits of snow found their way into the house, making it look more abandoned. Sir, I will get the hell out of there, but okay. Suddenly, Joe's nose picked up a foul odor in the air, causing him to reel, but not reel his butt out the door and go on back to his cabin, because there could be a body in that house that looks like that. Curious, he followed the scent down to the basement, walking on the creaky steps. Within the basement were shelves with jars left to collect dust. He couldn't see what was in them, so he looked closer. Jar after jar, he found nothing good. Everything was just old, expired liquids or contents, suggesting they had been there for a long time. The contents looked very disgusting, making him leave behind a lot of them. It didn't say all of them, though. It doesn't say all of them. It says just a lot of them. Suddenly, he looked on. He came across a jar that nearly spooked him. Inside was a pair of eyes floating in liquid. They looked very real, probably because they are. Looking closer, Joe felt that he had found just what he had needed. He opened the jar and with disgust took them. Sir, any of you touching these eyeballs? Didn't you say it stunk in there? Thinking of using them for the snowman. He quickly looked into the kitchen and snagged a rotten carrot. Why are there rotten carrots in there? And then I would think that they would degrade, but okay, whatever. It wasn't good to eat anymore, so why not make it a nose? After his search was done, Joe ran back to finish the snowman. What a snowman this will be. When he had returned, Sophie had already given the snowman branches for his arms, stones for his mouth. There you go, Scott. Stones for the mouth, and a scarf around his neck. Joe put the carrots and eyes on the face, fully completing the look. When the two looked at it, Joe felt very proud of the snowman. However, Sophie was quiet, creeped out by the eyes, thinking they looked too real. Girl, because they are. This fool and stole some eyeballs from some mad scientist's house, child. Or maybe it's Jeffrey Dahmer's cabin. We don't know who the hell cabin this is. But there are eyeballs in a jar of water. It just sounds like Jeffrey Dahmer's house to me.
Doesn't sound good.
Later that night, everyone went to sleep to rest for the day. Joe slept beside a window, covering it up nicely with a warm blanket. Need some cashmere. Suddenly, he felt a chill hit him, waking him up. When he looked at the window, he saw it was open. Joe could have sworn it had been closed a while ago. Sir, why would, if it's winter, why? If there's snow on the ground, why the hell would y'all open the window? Y'all heating bill must be a mess. Y'all heating bill must be crazy. He got up and went to close it, looking at Sophie sleeping peacefully in the other bed. Joe was about to close the window when he spotted the snowman they had made outside, The one that you put them human eyeballs in, sir. The last time he remembered, the snowman was looking away from the cabin. Now, to Joe's surprise, it was looking towards the window, or more like towards him with cold, human like eyes, like this. Well, really like this, though.
Nope.
This is why we don't go into abandoned cabins and take stuff out of jars. Since when did it turn around? Did someone move it? Either way, Joe was very disturbed by how the eyes were looking at him. Sir, we are beyond the eyes looking at us. You scooped your hand in a jar and got you some eyeballs. Who is this helping? So he closed the window and shut the curtains, leaving the snowman to stare. The next morning, Joe went to check the snowman. Much to his shock, the snowman was now looking away from the cabin again. While he was more confused than shocked, he decided to let it go, thinking he might be mistaken, and went about his day. That's mistake number 2, sir. Well, number like 37. Night came again, and Joe was in bed. He wanted to go to the bathroom, so he got up. I remember this scene. It's in The Sixth Sense. Remember that little boy has to go to the bathroom, and he got up, and then that little girl was there, and all that vomit was coming out her mouth, and she was like, my stepmama was poisoning me. Don't get up to go to the bathroom at night, I think, is the lesson learned. Keep a whatchamacallit, chamber pot. After being done with it, he looked out the window again. The snowman was looking back at the cabin again. Its eyes only looked at him, and his smile made Joe shiver. Terrified of the snowman, Joe closed the curtains and ran to bed. That night, he barely got sleep. And sure enough, the next day, the snowman was back in its original position. Joe, feeling very tired and horrified, grabbed his head in terror. Sir, at any point, we could just set the snowman on fire. We could dismantle the snowman. Maybe take them eyes back to that abandoned cabin and put them back in the fluid. He was too scared to tell his parents or Sophie because he didn't want to ruin their vacation. Too afraid to sleep alone, he asked his parents if he could sleep in the unused room, which had no windows at all. Joe lied that it was too cold to sleep in the other room. Although they were curious, they agreed to let him sleep in that room. This is going to be the last night, sir. Finally, at night, Joe was all alone with no windows and thus no snowman to bother him. He tucked himself in bed, hoping to get a good night's sleep at last. Suddenly, Joe was awakened by the same chill that had came over before. However, it was now even colder, almost like he was sleeping on snow. Overcome by frost and fear, Joe could not move and his body grew numb. He tried to break free. He looked at the door. What he saw made his body shiver even more. Scott, what you think out there?
Snowman moving around or something.
Here we go, y'all. Y'all ready? Here we go. At the door was the same snowman, now standing in his room. I would have ran over to the thermostat and turned the heat all the way up. Staring at Joe with its frightening eyes, it slid towards Joe. Period. This snowman can do the moonwalk. Period. The boy tried to move or scream, but his mouth was frozen, unable to speak. Oh my God, Scott, I can imagine what that looks like. You want to see? Do I look like unimaginably scared?
You do.
Talent, honey. She was born with it. He was slowly losing consciousness. Oh, wait. No. Wait. The snowman got closer and closer until his branch arms moved to grab the boy. It's like this, because my fingers are super long. And I have like super skinny arms. Ugh. That's what it looks like. Ugh. Ugh. To grab the boy. His stony mouth turned up in an evil grin with his evil red glowing eyes. Joe could not move or scream. He was slowly losing consciousness. He woke up after a few hours and found his family gathered around his bed. Where is the snowman? Joe asked in horror. In confusion, they told him. What snowman, honey? His mother replied. Joe told them what had happened, but to his surprise, there was no snowman. Sure enough, when he went outside, the snowman was no longer there. He was completely gone. I don't feel like this right. After being shrouded in fear, Joe decided he had had enough. Thankfully, the family was ready to leave the cabin. As soon as they had checked out, the receptionist asked if Joe was doing all right, noticing his sickly look. When his parents told what had happened, the lady also froze. She told them that a few years ago, a couple rented the abandoned cabin Joe had entered earlier. A few days later, they went missing, and no one has seen them since. Since then, people considered the cabin to be haunted. Joe, now more terrified than ever, knew he wasn't dreaming. That night, he had seen what horrors were to be found up in the mountain. He now knew that the items he took from the cabin caused the curse to attack him. From that day forward, he stopped going to abandoned places all by himself, never to face such dark things again. Sir, if you had listened to me when I said don't go over there, you wouldn't have ever had this problem. Period.
Very true.
Period. This one wasn't as scary as the other one. So, I mean, Hansel and Gretel, I think, might have been scarier. So, Scott, what lessons have you learned? You guys, too, put your lessons down in the comments if you learned any lesson from this one. I don't know what this one was about for real.
Don't take body parts from abandoned cabins.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't go in abandoned buildings. Don't do that. You don't know what the hell you might find. It may be worse than a curse. Okay? Might be a trap house. So stay the hell out of abandoned buildings. Those are the lessons that we learned today. And you guys put any lessons that you learned in the comment sections or any comments you got. We gonna have a quick one because we got some stuff that you probably heard popping in the oven. It's almost dinner time. So, did you have anything else, Scott?
I do not.
Okay, well, hey y'all, we made this quick. I hope y'all enjoyed it. From wherever we are to wherever you guys are, peace, love, and happiness. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, comment if you would like. Oh, we're gonna blow out this candle because we gotta have fire safety. Because what does McGruff say? Or no, that's for drugs. What is it saying?
Smokey the Bear.
Smokey the Bear. Only you can prevent forest fires. Look at me doing it. Oh, I just did it. Look, ain't no fire in this forest. Okay, well, with that, we bid you guys adieu, and we'll see you tomorrow for Sunday.